It's the What a Weird Week podcast for Friday, February 10th, 2023. Delicious cake dress.
Hi, everybody, it's Weird.
This is like crazy being here. Like,
Really weird tales. Well, I got a great show for you today with some wonderful weird stuff.
You guys, thanks for coming back to the What a Weird Week podcast or checking it out for the first time. We have a weird announcement at the end of this week's episode. Some of the weird stories this time around include dogs in a conga line. Maybe that's triggering for you, so heads up. And some weird CIA investment strategies. Just mentioning the CIA makes me a bit nervous. I don't want to cross any government agencies. I'll tell you that much. All right, here we go. Oh, if you're new here, every Friday we do a Weird News of the Week Top 10. We put all the links and the videos, the photos in a show notes blog. You can check shownotes.page. That's the easiest way to get all the show notes stuff.
10.
Record-breaking cereal box dominoes. It's weird, but it's good. Teachers and kids at Red Apple Elementary in Wisconsin set up 7,000 and something cereal boxes and then knocked them on down. That's a Guinness World Record, the most cereal boxes given the domino treatment. It worked too. They all fell down. So now they're waiting for the official confirmation from the Guinness World Records people. The collected cereal is going to help feed hungry people. So weird, but good.
9.
The gibbon was living alone at the zoo. So how did it get pregnant? It was a mystery, but it's not anymore, you guys. The gibbon at the Japanese zoo got pregnant the old-fashioned way. They did a DNA test. They've determined who the father is. The mommy gibbon and the daddy gibbon, who love each other very much, had a rendezvous through a broken fence. I don't know how to put this. Like, I don't want to ever be more than PG-13, you guys. The fence wasn't entirely broken. It was broken enough. Love finds a way.
8.
And the award for excellence in dog conga line goes to 14 dogs who decided to break the world record. 14 dogs in a conga line is the new world record, you guys. I guess that's a lot of dogs. I just thought it would be hundreds and hundreds of dogs. No, that's impossible, right? You can tell I don't have pets. Getting 2 dogs to behave at the same time, probably hard enough. There was a dog trainer involved, and this part is kind of juicy. The dog trainer fella beat the previous dog conga world record of 9 dogs, which was set by his own daughter. Awkward at the next family barbecue. The award-winning dogs are Emma, Filou, Fin, Simon, Susie, Maya, Ulf, Speck, Bibby, Katie, Jennifer, Jennifer the dog, Elvis, Charlie, and Kathy. Those are your world record dogs.
7.
When you hear Lord of the Bins, do you think that would be a legit business licensed by the Lord of the Rings franchise? Couple guys run a waste company called Lord of the Bins in Brighton, UK. They've been in the news because the Lord of the Rings people have told them they need to change their name. I am not a lawyer, but these cases usually come down to you cannot profit off someone else's IP unless you have a deal with them. And you cannot sully the name of the Lord of the Rings because that fan base, oh mama, they will come for you. So the fellows say a rebrand is going to be expensive, probably cheaper than a Lord of the Rings licensing deal or lawsuit. But again, not a lawyer. And have not seen Lord of the Rings. Don't come at me.
6.
The company that wants to bring back the dodo bird is getting some of their funding from the CIA, you guys. The company is named Colossal. They are the same company working on Project Bring Back the Woolly Mammoth. Now they want to bring back the dodo bird. That part of the story maybe you heard before. That's not exactly 100% new. That's been showing up on my feeds for a while. But what is brand new info to me is that one of their backers of Project Dodo is the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. The company that's doing it, Colossal, I think they have a bunch of investors, but one of them through a venture capital company, CIA. So I have a couple of questions. Why does the CIA want in on this? Is it just because it's a good investment? Is the CIA, do they do that? Is it like we need to fund our black budget operations by making smart investments like the dodo bird? Maybe that's it. I legit can't figure this one out. Please, if you have a working theory, send it. I'll put an email in the show notes. What do you think the CIA is doing? Why do they want to invest in the dodo bird? Will the dodo be weaponized? My understanding of the dodo bird is that they would be terrible spies. They're not very stealthy. I don't understand it. To be continued.
5.
How cool is ice? Before you answer, we have a new discovery to mention. Because you might be like, ice is cool. Literally, it's cool. Or you might be like, seen it, done it, bought the t-shirt. What have you done for me lately? Ice. Well, scientists have discovered what is being described as weird ice, a completely new kind of ice that's more close to being liquid than any ice ever. All right, is that part exciting? Maybe, no, not. The ice scientists are pretty jazzed up by this. This new ice is some kind of game changer. And my favorite part, how they created this new kind of ice, here's the quote. We shook the ice like crazy for a long time and destroyed the crystal structure. So instead of ending up with smaller pieces of ice when they started shaking this ice up in their fancy scientific shaker, instead of small pieces of ice, they ended up with a brand new kind of ice. They made an entirely different kind of ice. It's a lot of ice talk. Is it too much ice talk, you guys? Let me know in the comments. Maybe you're wondering, what does this mean for you and me? Well, they still need to do more experiments. So I will get back to you on that. I love the passion of the scientists in the story. So excited by this ice. And I love it that somebody's idea of an experiment was to shake ice and see what happens.
4,
Hey, how about that balloon thing, though? Hey, you guys? I wanted to circle back on this. We hardly ever have a big, weird story that everyone's talking about that breaks after our last podcast dropped. But then the story is almost completely gone. By the time we're ready for this week's podcast, there's not a lot of balloon talk anymore. But that's all last weekend after the podcast dropped. That's all anybody was talking about. Chinese spy balloon. So, just for a brief moment, first acknowledge we were all captivated by that weird balloon. And I don't know too much about world politics and all that, but the dramatic tension leading up to it getting shot down was kind of fascinating. It was like the plot from Armageddon. They put together a team to travel to the balloon and destroy it, and they saved us all. I'm sure that a search and destroy mission is always dangerous, no matter what, right? Whoever got the call to do that, to shoot down the balloon, I mean, you'd never know for sure what's going to happen. So there's always a certain amount of danger. But you got to figure whoever got the assignment and they were like, Bob, Carol, you guys are going to shoot down. We need you to scramble. You're going to shoot down a balloon. That's probably not as, I'm sure you still get the adrenaline rush. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you've ever flown over enemy lines. Is that more exciting and stressful than shooting down a balloon? My guess is the balloon was just a little bit more of a relaxed mission. I could be wrong.
3,
Drink all the coffee or never drink coffee again. I'm not sure with this study. Never take this podcast as your solitary source of anything, like anything. But having said that, I really do try to chase down different sources on these stories, and all the links are in the show notes. This new study gave me a bit of confusion because I was trying to track down, I Googled the headline about the coffee and the blood pressure. When you do that, you get just as many bad stories about the effects of coffee on your blood pressure. So I'm shrugging. I'm shrugging right now. This is me shrugging. I should have done shrugging noises. So, is that a shrugging noise? Universal noise for shrugging? Here's the quote from the article. The results are very clear. Peripheral blood pressure was significantly lower in individuals consuming 1 to 3 cups of coffee a day than in non-coffee drinkers. Peripheral blood pressure, had to look it up. I don't know that. It is when you take your blood pressure reading from the upper arm. So I don't know. Coffee good, coffee bad. This week, coffee good. Remember to consult your barista or a doctor, something, before you go on an all coffee diet.
2,
Not all heroes wear capes, but also not all cape wearers are heroes. You be the judge. 2,854 people put on a red cape at the same time to set a world record for the most caped people in one place. This happened at a Toronto Raptors affiliate team basketball game. This is the NBA G League's Raptors 905 game, Mississauga, Ontario. Sorry, Mississauga. I'm trying not to do any edits, so I'm going to leave the first pronunciation in, where I sound a little bit like a drunken Tom Brokaw. This raised money for charity. The old record was set by 2,000 and some Batman fans. So nearly 3,000 people put on a cape. At first I thought, well, that's kind of silly. And then I found out it's like a big charity event. So weird and good. Another weird and good story. Aw.
1,
Okay, here comes the big kahuna. A cake so big you wear it like a dress. A Swiss baker set a Guinness World Record for making the biggest wearable dress cake in the world. This happened at a wedding fair. If you want to see videos and pictures, check the show notes or remember shownotes.page. Do you guys think this will catch on? Because shows like Say Yes to the Dress and shows like Cake Boss are very popular on their own. Putting the two together seems unstoppable. Also, having your wedding dress be your wedding cake at the same time, that seems like a real time saver to me. By the way, dress weighed 289 pounds. Okay, that is that. Again, shownotes.page. You can click the show notes and see all the videos and all the stuff we talked about. Also, I forgot to mention we're trying video podcasts as well, so the link is in the show notes for that business. And we've been having so many honorable mention weird stories. Here's your weird announcement. This Monday, we're going to do an honorable mention. All the weird stories that didn't quite make the top 10, we're going to do a whole other podcast on Monday. So that'll drop Monday, same channel, all that jazz. Weird Mondays. We're calling it Weird Mondays. No, I didn't just come up with that on the spot. The whole team came up with that. It took weeks. Weird Mondays.